You are listening to INTERFORM Podcast with Ro on the radio. You're going to want to hear this.
Welcome to INTERFORM Podcast. It's me, your girl, Ro on the radio, and I've got a special guest today. It's Richard Gathright, Director of Pride, NWA Pride. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I want people to know why Pride is important.
So as a lot of people know, Pride actually started as a protest in the late 60s. It started in the Stonewall Inn, which was a bar on Christopher Street, still there in New York City.
Okay.
They were not cops at that point, and the city of New York were pretty much anti-gay, anti-trans. And, you know, the bar wanted a liquor license. They wouldn't get it. And they started rioting, essentially. And that's what kind of kicked off Pride. It was a 6-day protest in New York City.
And then from the protest to now, like, let's kind of fast forward a little bit. Have you seen people's support in Pride grow? Well, let's just say, like, in the past 5 years, have you seen a difference? Do you think it's more welcome than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Absolutely. I think there's been a big shift in this country and acceptance when it comes to, you know, Pride and the LGBTQ community. We still have a lot of work to do, but things are better than they used to be. But, you know, we just don't know what the Supreme Court's going to do after,
I promise. We never know.
We just never know.
We just have to expect the unexpected. Now, so my thing is, I feel like in certain areas it's more welcomed, right? In the North, or like in California, New York is better now, but we are in the South.
Yes.
We're in
the
Arkansas.
Red South.
Yeah, things are a little slow to catch on socially, support-wise. And I've actually seen a little bit more support, especially with Pride. Like last year, the Pride Parade was ginormous.
It was. We thought we had about 25,000 show up last year. We're expecting.
I feel like more than that.
Yeah, we're expecting at least 30 this year.
Goodness.
And we didn't even have the festival last year. We just did the parade because we found that little sweet spot in between COVID, you know, variances.
Like, do it now. Do it now.
We were like, we're just going to roll with it. And it turned out great. And yeah, this year the festival's back and all of our main events are back. So we're really looking forward to see how it turns out.
Good. Talk to me a little bit about what's known as rainbow washing, right? Like when people claim to support the gay community, like companies, and they're changing their products, they're changing their advertising, and it's like, do you really support? Does the money go to where it's supposed to? If people want to support, how can they do that with the right organization?
It's all about doing your research, especially when it comes to corporations. I mean, yes, there are plenty of them out there that, you know, do good and do put their money where their mouth is, but then there are some that are just capitalizing off of our community. And,
exactly.
And, you know, it happens so often, you know, with so many different communities. It happens with the Black community. It happens with, you know, the LGBT community.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but, you know, just do your research when you're out there, you know, buying your Pride merchandise. Just, you know, just do a little Google search.
Do a little Google search before because I see it a lot. I definitely see it on Instagram, social media, and in some advertising. What are some things that you would like people to know about Pride or about the LGBTQ plus community that they may not otherwise know?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is we're just like everybody else. We just happen to be attracted to either the same sex or an opposite sex, you know, depending how you identify, either sexually or gender identification.
How can people who are not part of the LGBTQ plus community support the LGBTQ plus community?
Come to Pride, be an ally, you know, donate to LGBTQ causes. That's a great way to support. I mean, NWA Equality is a great, you know, center to donate to. There are plenty of others in the state. We have Intransitive down in Little Rock. There's 10 up here, the Transgender Equality Network.
Yes, we work with them.
We have a couple of new organizations, the Equality Crew, which is just doing amazing work.
Yes.
You've got the Big Gay Market that's also doing great stuff, and they're both helping us out with with Pride this year with a couple of our events, and you have the Arkansas Sisters, the Hillbilly Harlots, another great organization. So yeah,
I love that name.
Yep.
The Hillbilly Harlots.
So the sisters were founded back in the 80s to help AIDS patients, because at that point it was so stigmatized that even family members wouldn't even go to their hospital rooms to see their loved ones dying. So the sisters put on their white face of makeup to disguise who they were, so they wouldn't be persecuted for helping AIDS patients.
Oh, I love that. You know all the history too. You're pretty.
Kind of have to doing this.
You kind of have. Some people do. Some people don't. What advice would you give someone who is of the LGBTQ community and is maybe not comfortable being out, maybe hasn't found their tribe, or maybe doesn't have that support at home? Maybe somebody that's young, like a teenager. Like, what advice would you have for them?
Reach out to some of these community resources, especially the Equality Crew, because they really focus on
because they're there.
Yeah, they're here and they're queer, and
get used to it.
And get used to it. But yeah, that's probably the best resource we have for kids and teenagers in this area.
Is there counseling involved in it too, or is it just because I know some people have counseling services available?
Yes.
Or is it just kind of like a support group? Like, what can they expect when they
it's
reach
both.
out?
It's both. And, we used to have peer support groups before COVID, and we just hired a new program director. And
nice.
They're working to kind of help rebuild our programs that were sort of decimated when we all had to, shut down in 2020.
When life basically just stopped.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I like to I think the reason Pride is so important to me is because I feel like, and this is pretty much a fact, everyone knows somebody or has somebody that they may not know is a part of that community in their family, at work. And I think it's something that touches everyone, and everybody should be a little bit more supportive than they have been. And I think people are afraid of what they don't understand or what they don't know, and it's a little bit more helpful if you kind of do the research, like you said, and then you have to have a supportive community who can provide you that safe space to ask questions, because I think people are afraid to ask certain questions, or it's like a don't talk about it, don't say gay, things like that. And it's important to have those resources.
It is. It's super important, especially right now, because like I
Absolutely.
said, things are changing, and it seems
like things are regressing.
It does seem like we're going to
scary.
start taking 6 steps back instead of a few steps forward. It's scary. Especially in Arkansas. I don't know what's going to happen with this next election cycle. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
For sure. There's definitely an eye roll there. What are some things that people can do to support that community without it being Pride? Because I feel like people only, get within the hype of it. It's like, oh, it's Pride, I'm going to go to the store and get rainbow socks. And then after it's Pride, it's like you don't hear anything from the supporters. And I feel like it's important to make it a consistent thing and not just during Pride Month. So are there any other events maybe that are going on besides Pride, outside of Pride?
Oh, absolutely. NWA Equality has events happening all year round. We
Nice.
have our annual drag bingo that usually happens at the Fayetteville Town Center. That's a whole lot of fun. We sometimes do brunches also at the Town Center. We haven't done those a lot lately. In November, we do our Rainbow Thanksgiving, which we
Nice.
hand out 300 free meals to the community.
Wow.
All you have to do is sign up, and you can get a free meal.
That's amazing. That's what I like to hear, is the continuation of the celebration, not just when everybody knows about it and not just when it's convenient. Can you tell people how to get in touch with you, or how to get in touch with NWA Pride or any NWA?
Yeah, NWAequality.org. You can find all the information about our our organization. And then NWAPride.org has all of the information pertaining to Pride.
Yes, and all the events. Is there like a calendar?
We are working on that as we.
Okay,
I've been working on that all morning, and we
yeah.
should have that out. Hopefully the next day or so.
Okay, and are you guys on Instagram?
Oh yes,
or?
Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect.
We have
NWA quality.
NWA quality, yes.
Okay.
And we also have a YouTube channel that has like
Ooh,
our
like the performances? and
No, we don't have a
things?
lot of performances on
Okay.
there, but we have what we did for our virtual Pride that we had to do back in 2020, and then we'll have the 2022 parade broadcast live
Yeah.
on YouTube this year as well.
So I want to talk a little bit about the parade because I'm excited about it. You have been kind enough to let me co-host, and I am just like on the moon. What can people expect from Pride this year? Anything new that you didn't have last year? I don't want to give too much away.
So we are bringing the festival will be back. So we'll have a lot of amazing musical acts and drag queens on the main stage.
Nice.
We are doing the kid and teen zone that the Equality Crew is helping us out with
At the Walton Arts
At the Walton Arts Center, yes.
Yes.
Glitterville is happening that night at George's. Tickets are sold out.
Already? Richard?
Completely sold out. VIP sold out in like a couple of days when we released them a couple of months ago.
My goodness.
Don't worry, you'll be there.
All right. I was counting on you, Richard.
You will be there. And then on the 16th, the Thursday before, we're having a crawfish boil at the library that our folks and our friends
at the Fayetteville
Public Library.
Wow.
That our friends at the Momentary are going to help us out with.
Nice. We love the Momentary too. That's where we had Fashion Week.
Yes.
I love that you have so much support and that people are really leaning in and not just doing the bare minimum just to say that they support it, because there's a little bit of that goes on.
And this year we have, a ton of wonderful sponsors, and Pride this year is being presented by Walmart and the Tyson Family Foundation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Get in there, lean in all the way. Okay, anything else we can expect from the parade? Don't get too much away.
Just a lot of fun. This year is also the 50th anniversary of Miss Gay Arkansas and Miss Gay America. So we're bringing Norman Jones, a.k.a. Norma Christie, up from Little Rock, and he's going to be our Grand Marshal.
That's kind of a big deal. Oh, okay. Well, that's some good things to expect from this year's NWA Pride. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you, Ro,
for joining us. And make sure you check out NWA Quality on all social media platforms and on YouTube. And I'm Ro on the radio. That was INTERFORM Podcast. Make sure you check us out on Instagram. It's interform.art. You can also check out our website, interform.art. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you.
You are listening to INTERFORM Podcast with Ro on the radio. You're going to want to hear this.